I'm going to make you yawn right now, not with boring content, but with pure physics. Watch this. Someone across from you opens their mouth wide, their jaw drops, they take a deep breath, their eyes close slightly, and before you can even think about it, your own jaw is dropping, your own lungs are filling, you're yawning too. You tried to stop it, you always try to stop it, but you can't. And this isn't weakness, this isn't suggestibility, this is your brain obeying Emmy Noether's energy conservation laws. Your neurons are literally copying energy states from another person's neurons, and today I'm going to prove to you that contagious yawning isn't social behavior, it's physics. It's your brain being an energy minimizer. And once you understand the mechanism, you'll realize you're not an individual. You're a node in a network that's constantly synchronizing energy states, whether you want to or not. Before we go deeper, I need to know, are you watching this on your phone in bed, on your laptop during a break, or on your TV while relaxing? And more importantly, have you already yawned since starting this video? Be honest, did reading the word yawn in the title trigger you? Did watching me describe a yawn make your jaw tingle? Drop a comment below and tell me how many times you've yawned so far, because I'm genuinely curious if this phenomenon is as universal through video as it is in person. Also tell me if you're one of those rare people who claim to be immune, because I want to test a hypothesis about that. Let me start with the basic mystery. Yawning is contagious. Everyone knows this. You see someone yawn, and within seconds you're yawning too. It happens with strangers, with friends, with family. It even happens when you see videos of people yawning or read about yawning or even think about yawning. Right now, as I'm saying the word yawn multiple times, you're probably fighting the urge. And here's what's wild. Scientists have known about this phenomenon for decades, but the mechanism remained mysterious until the discovery of mirror neurons. In the 1990s, Italian neuroscientist Giacomo Rizzolatti was studying macaque monkeys. He had electrodes implanted in their brains monitoring individual neurons, and he noticed something bizarre. Certain neurons fired when the monkey performed an action like grabbing food, but those same neurons also fired when the monkey watched another monkey or even a human grab food. The neurons mirrored observed actions, hence the name mirror neurons, and this discovery revolutionized our understanding of empathy, learning, and social behavior. But what nobody talks about is that mirror neurons are fundamentally energy conservation devices. They're your brain's shortcut for understanding the world without having to rebuild models from scratch every single time. Here's how it connects to Emmy Noether. Her theorem tells us that symmetries in physical systems give rise to conservation laws. Time symmetry gives energy conservation. Space symmetry gives momentum conservation. But there's another kind of symmetry that operates in biological systems, action-observation symmetry. When I perform an action, my brain enters a specific energy state, a pattern of neural firing that represents that action. When you observe me performing that action, your mirror neurons create the same energy state in your brain. This is symmetry. My doing equals your observing at the neural level, and the conservation law that emerges is conservation of neural patterns. Your brain doesn't waste energy creating a new representation of yawning from first principles. It copies my representation. This is energy minimization at the neurological level, and it's brilliant. Evolution discovered that the most efficient way to understand what others are doing is to literally simulate their actions in your own motor cortex. Feel what they're feeling, activate what they're activating, copy their energy state. Now let's talk about yawning specifically. A yawn is a stereotyped motor pattern. Jaw opens wide, deep inhalation, brief pause, exhalation. The entire sequence takes about 6 seconds, and it's controlled by specific neural circuits in your brain stem and hypothalamus. When you see me yawn, visual information enters your brain through your eyes, travels to your visual cortex, gets processed, and then something fascinating happens. That visual information gets routed to your mirror neuron system, specifically neurons in your inferior frontal gyrus and inferior parietal lobule. These mirror neurons fire as if you're executing a yawn yourself. They send signals to your motor cortex. Your motor cortex sends signals to your muscles, and boom, you're yawning. The entire process takes 1 to 3 seconds, faster than conscious thought. You can't stop it because it's happening below the level of conscious control. It's a reflex mediated by ancient brain structures that prioritize energy efficiency over individual autonomy. The physics here is beautiful. Think of your brain as an oscillator, a system that has natural resonant frequencies. When I yawn, my neural oscillator enters a specific frequency pattern, the yawn state. When you observe me yawning, your mirror neurons couple to my oscillator like two pendulums connected by a spring. Coupled oscillators synchronize. This is a fundamental principle in physics. If you hang two pendulum clocks on the same wall, they'll eventually swing in sync because vibrations through the wall couple their motions. Your brain does the same thing with neural states. My yawn state oscillator drives your yawn state oscillator into resonance. And once you're resonating at yawn frequency, the motor output is inevitable. You yawn. This is why yawn contagion is so hard to resist. You're fighting against resonance physics, against the natural tendency of coupled systems to synchronize, and resonance always wins. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Not everyone catches yawns equally. Research shows that yawn contagion occurs in about 60 to 70% of people, but the rate varies dramatically based on relationship closeness. You're more likely to catch a yawn from a family member than from a stranger, more likely from a friend than from an acquaintance. Why? Because emotional closeness strengthens neural coupling. The more you empathize with someone, the stronger your mirror neuron response. Empathy is literally the coupling strength between oscillators, and this reveals something profound. Yawn contagion is a measure of empathy. It's a physical manifestation of how strongly your brain resonates with another person's brain. This is why psychopaths show reduced yawn contagion. Multiple studies have demonstrated this. People with psychopathic traits, characterized by reduced empathy and emotional connection, are significantly less likely to catch yawns, their mirror. Neuron systems are intact, but the coupling to emotional circuits is weak. They can see the yawn, they can process it, but they don't resonate. The oscillators don't sync. It's like trying to make two pendulums synchronize when the spring connecting them is too weak. No coupling, no contagion. Let me show you the evolutionary logic, because this is where Noether's principle of energy minimization really shines. Imagine you're in a prehistoric human group. It's evening. The group is settling down. One person yawns. Maybe they're tired. Maybe their brain needs more oxygen. Maybe they're transitioning to a lower energy state for sleep. If everyone in the group could independently sense environmental cues and decide when to transition to sleep mode, that would require a lot of individual computation, a lot of energy expenditure. But if yawns are contagious, then one person's state transition can trigger synchronized state transitions across the whole group. This is energetically efficient. The group operates as a coherent unit. Everyone enters sleep mode together. This has survival advantages. Synchronized sleep means synchronized wake times, better group cohesion, better coordination, less vulnerability to predators who might pick off individuals who are out of phase. With the group, so evolution selected for yawn contagion, for mirror neurons that couple strongly enough to synchronize group energy states. Your inability to resist yawning when you see someone else yawn isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's your brain prioritizing group coherence over individual autonomy. And from a physics standpoint, it's your neural network minimizing total energy expenditure by copying states rather than computing them independently. Here's something absolutely wild. Yawn contagion crosses species boundaries. Dogs catch yawns from humans. Research at the University of Tokyo showed that dogs are more likely to yawn after seeing their owner yawn compared to seeing a stranger yawn. Just like humans, they show relationship-dependent contagion. This means mirror neuron systems and empathy circuits evolved before the human-dog split. These are ancient mechanisms, conserved across tens of millions of years of evolution. Your dog's brain and your brain are running the same energy minimization algorithm, the same neural coupling physics. When your dog sees you yawn, their mirror neurons fire. Their brain resonates with your brain. They yawn. This is interspecies neural synchronization. It's beautiful, and it's proof that these mechanisms are fundamental, not cultural, not learned, but built into the architecture of social mammal brains. Now let's address the question everyone asks. Can you resist yawning when you see someone else yawn? The short answer is maybe, but it's hard. Remember, this is a reflex operating below conscious control. But there are strategies. First, awareness. If you know the mechanism, you can sometimes catch the process early. You feel your mirror neurons activating. You feel the motor planning beginning, and you can consciously inhibit the motor output. This requires activation of your prefrontal cortex, your executive control system. It's energetically expensive. You're fighting against resonance, but it's possible. Some people report success with distraction techniques. The moment you see someone yawn, you force your attention elsewhere. You disrupt the visual input before it fully activates the mirror system. Another strategy is breath control. If you maintain deliberate breathing patterns, you can interfere with the automatic inhalation that characterizes a yawn. But honestly, these strategies work maybe 30% of the time. The other 70% you're going to yawn. Your brain's energy minimization drive is too strong. The coupling is too tight. The resonance is inevitable. Let me zoom out to the bigger picture, because yawn contagion is just one example of a much broader phenomenon. Your brain is constantly copying energy states from other brains. When you see someone smile, your mirror neurons activate smile circuits, and you feel happier. When you see someone in pain, your mirror neurons activate pain circuits, and you feel empathy. When you watch an athlete perform a complex motion, your motor cortex simulates that motion. This is how you learn. This is how you empathize. This is how you connect. You are not an isolated processor. You are a node in a massive network of coupled oscillators. Every interaction you have involves energy state exchange, neural pattern copying, resonance, and synchronization. Emmy Noether showed us that conservation laws emerge from symmetries. And what we're seeing here is a conservation law emerging from the symmetry between action and observation. The neural energy state required to perform an action is conserved in the neural energy state activated by observing that action. Your brain doesn't waste resources building separate representations. It copies, it mirrors, it resonates. This is energy minimization on a network scale. Here's the philosophical implication that keeps me up at night. If your brain is constantly copying energy states from other brains, where does individual thought end and collective thought begin? When you have an idea, is it truly yours? Or is it the result of 1,000 mirror neuron activations, copying patterns from everyone you've ever interacted with? When you feel an emotion, is it intrinsic, or is it resonance with the emotional states of people around you? I think the answer is both. You are simultaneously an individual and a collective. Your brain maintains its own patterns, but those patterns are constantly being shaped by coupling to other brains. You are a unique oscillator, but you're also entrained to the oscillators around you. And this isn't metaphorical. This is literal physics happening in your neurons right now as you watch this video. My patterns are coupling to your patterns. My energy states are influencing your energy states. We are synchronizing. So why is yawning contagious? Because your brain has mirror neurons. Because mirror neurons copy energy states. Because copying is more efficient than computing from scratch. Because evolution selected for group coherence. Because your brain is an energy minimizer that prioritizes efficiency over autonomy. Because Emmy Noether's conservation principles apply to neural networks just as they apply to particles and fields, a yawn is a specific energy state. When you observe it, your brain copies that state. The copying happens automatically through resonance, through neural oscillator coupling, through the physics of synchronized systems. You can't stop it because you're fighting fundamental physics. You're a coupled oscillator whether you like it or not. Next time you catch a yawn from someone, don't feel weak. Appreciate the mechanism. You're experiencing energy state synchronization. You're proving that brains aren't isolated computers but nodes in a resonant network. You're demonstrating that Noether's principles extend from galaxies to neurons, from conservation of energy in physical systems to conservation of neural patterns in biological systems. Your yawn isn't yours alone. It's shared, it's collective, it's physics making you part of something larger than yourself. And yes, I know you've yawned at least twice during this video. I could predict that with physics, your mirror neurons couldn't resist. The coupling was too strong, the resonance was inevitable, and that's exactly the point. You're not broken, you're not weak. You're just a beautifully designed energy-minimizing oscillator doing exactly what evolution programmed you to do, copying states, syncing patterns, conserving energy, being human. If you found this fascinating and if you yawned at least once, please hit that subscribe button because I'm exploring more everyday phenomena through Emmy Noether's physics principles, and I want to hear from you. What should I tackle next? Why do earphones tangle in your pocket? Why does hot water sometimes freeze faster than cold water? Why do traffic jams appear from nowhere? Drop your suggestions in the comments along with your yawn count, and I'll pick the most interesting topic for the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for yawning. And remember, your brain is always listening, always watching, always copying. Physics doesn't give you a choice.